Well, I think Joe Biden ignored the Western Hemisphere for a very long time. And now, under Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who understands the region very well, he knows that we cannot have the Russians, the Chinese, or the Iranians having a stronghold in the Western Hemisphere. It's too close to home. And so I think under the Biden administration, we saw that they abandoned Western Hemisphere. And here you had President Trump, obviously, with the leadership and vision of Marco Rubio as well, that said we need to make sure that there's strong democracy, strong conservatives in these different nations in the Western Hemisphere. And I think for Venezuela in particular, they have vast natural resources. And what did they do under Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro? They nationalized the oil industry, which caused a disruption with many of the U.S. oil companies, where they themselves says, look, we can't trust the Venezuelans in doing this. So with the swift action, and I thought it was probably one of the most successful military operations taken by the Department of War in extracting President Nicolas Maduro out of Venezuela, obviously charging him with multiple counts of crimes that he has committed, including money laundering, including direct contact with the drug cartels. In essence, I think we have a very strong case in the courts against Nicolas Maduro. And then putting in Delcy Rodriguez, who I'm not a fan of in any way because she's part of the Nicolas Maduro party and regime, but she knows that she is going to have to respond to the United States of America. And in essence, then really the U.S. is controlling these natural resources in Venezuela, which of course is good for America, which is good for being able, and good for Venezuela because the Venezuelan people want freedom. You know, I think Cuba is a little more challenging. I think they are in conversations more than they are in negotiations. They still have a very strong, you still have Raul Castro, believe it or not, and his grandson dictating the terms in Cuba. So it is a old regime that's been there for over 60 years. The grandson obviously plays a critical role in these conversations. I don't think we're as close to seeing change in Cuba or a swift change action as we saw in Venezuela. And I do think then, of course, all eyes are on Iran and what's happening there, where I think President Trump has done an effective job in weakening the Islamic regime there.